Aaron, welcome to the Oselo podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
No worries.
You are our first guest in our podcast studio, which is quite special.
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's
lovely.
good.
So tell me about Ambl.
So Ambl is an idea that essentially tries to save people time when finding bars and restaurants in a city. So time and time again, I'd be trying to find a table for clients or friends or whatever that situation was, and having an issue with availability, seeing what's around, and you're nodding because you've been in that situation.
100%.
Yeah. So what the app does, it allows you basically, like the same way Uber works, where you say, I need to get picked up, and it pings out to drivers. It does the same, but pings out to bars and restaurants, and then they respond to you whether they can take you in real time, so that if they've had cancellations or no-shows or have that spare capacity, you're the first to know about it. And actually it's allowing them to see the customer rather than you just seeing what's online and hoping for the best.
Yeah, wow, that sounds like really innovative. I mean, 100%.
Trying to be.
Situations so many times, can't even name it. I mean, sometimes you obviously book somewhere and then you want to go out again afterwards, and trying to get in somewhere on a Friday or a Saturday night is just such a pain, especially in London.
Yeah.
Everyone's always out.
Yeah, no, they are. And then obviously our goal for that is try and fix that in places. And it's had some good traction in London. We launched it 5 months ago. And we've got some great restaurants on, some great bars on, and people are we're seeing a lot of repeat usage. So we're really in that early stage of trying to change behaviour and how people do things, and obviously, looking forward to getting London covered and then starting to move nationally and hopefully internationally soon.
Yeah, I mean, so I told my friends to download the app because I've got a lot of friends that work in the city, and the restaurant Camino is where we go quite a lot sometimes,
Yeah.
and they used it for that restaurant.
Okay.
And they said it was so easy, saved so much time.
Nice.
And it worked well because my friend's office is literally opposite, and yeah, just very impressed with it.
Oh, please. Well, that's good feedback. But there's so much that we're building in the app over the next sort of few months. Like we've had a lot of people use it. We've spoken to as many people as possible and customers to say, what do you want in this app? And a big part of our business is the tech side, which we're just building and building and building.
Yeah. So I mean, let's start from the beginning. How did you come up with the name Ambl?
That weren't the beginning.
That weren't the beginning?
No, that was after like a year.
Okay.
I say a year, maybe 6 to 9 months of trying to build something and trying to figure out what this was.
Yeah.
The idea came from my manager asking me to find us a table that evening for 6 of us, and I was on other booking apps. I called a few venues, and then 20 minutes went by and I just said, why can I not just broadcast out 6 of us need a table and a restaurant goes, here you go? Because we live in a generation of convenience. We want stuff on demand, and people want what they want when they want it. Uber, all these delivery apps, you click a button and it's there and you've got it. And I didn't feel that there was anything like that for hospitality. So I basically walked around London. So I was in financial sales for 10 years. Left school, went straight into the city and did sales. And then after work, I'd walk around London every day, knocking on restaurant doors, trying to pitch my idea. And slowly but surely, a few started going, yep, and then more developed and more started to come on, and just hit the road and off I went.
Yeah.
Quit my job and let's go.
So was the transition from being a business development manager to being your own founder, owning your own tech company in a way, was that a big transition?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's completely... I'd had businesses before when I was younger. Like I had one when I was... Actually, my co-founder and I started one when we were young. In school, we had an ice cream business, and then I had a clothing business, and I had an online gym business. Not training people, obviously, but like gym clothing. And then so I'd been interested in it, and I've always wanted to do that. And for me, working was just because I had to.
Yeah.
And I wasn't waiting for something to happen. It just happened, and then there was nothing else that mattered other than going for it.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
And
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you for having that can-do attitude, though, because that's how you get stuff done.
It is. It's having a can-do attitude is one thing, but the work you've got to do, and I think the one thing that you do have to do is just learn from people and talk to people that have done it.
Yeah.
And learn the best way to do things.
100%. So, in terms of funding, how did you find your funding journey?
So, we've raised just over £2 million so far. That's, you know, to build a business like this, a marketplace is expensive, and you've got to get it right, and it takes a lot of time. So it's not like we're building like a small app that, you know, is a subscription. We're trying to build like a marketplace, so it's expensive and it takes a lot of time and resources and people to do it. So, you know, we needed that money, and we needed to put a business proposal together that made complete sense, people would get it, and the revenue model adds up.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to raise, or how you start raising is, you've got to have that in a clear deck or proposal that this is how we're going to do it, this is what it's going to generate, and this is why it will be successful, and this is the size of the market. Right. With that, then you can obviously start going out to investors, which is just sales. Yeah,
and that's your background. So
it's a different level of sales, because you're not selling a product, that you're asking people to part with hard-earned savings and cash. Yeah. And there's such a different range, I suppose it's the same, there's such a different range of investors or people that want to. So, you know, it's finding the right people. Some people love your idea, some people don't, and that's okay. Yeah. Some people love your product, some people don't, and that's okay. But you've just got to keep going through 100 no's and a yes is still fine.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of any other app or service that offer what Ambl do, to be quite honest with you. So it's really is original. So investors must catch investors' eye, because there's nothing else like it out there.
I think what it does is it's honing in on a really good bit of the market where everything else is in a different area, and we're trying to basically capture this cream, you know, this cream of business for restaurants and bars that they can't get otherwise. Yeah. There's no one doing it the way we are, so you're exactly right. And I think when investors see that, or they see the prototype and how it works, the user through to the business journey, then it's like I get it. And that's all you need, is it to click, because they'll make their own decision whether they like your business or not. And like you've used it, and you're saying I've not seen anything like it, but it's how do you make something like that where people go, this is all I need to use now, and that's the hard part.
Yeah, I mean, I think I read a statistic the other day, and I think it was something like, if you use something 2 or 3 times,
yeah, it becomes habitual.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, with what it is, I think everyone can relate to being in a situation where last minute reservations and they can't get one. So this is something that people will be able to relate to. They'll use it a couple of times and think, oh, like, they get hooked on it.
100%. We're seeing that now. I mean, it's only a small business, but we're seeing when people book, half of them book again.
Yeah.
Already. So the repeat usage rate is encouraging. We just need to obviously get more people booking to the venues, but it's starting to grow. People want more choice in venues. We're trying to bring on the best in London, and people want more functions, and that's what we're building. So we're learning all the time what people want to make it a more ubiquitous solution. And then that's where it starts to work. And that's where, going back to the raising side, your unit economics, which is the most important thing, add up, i.e. how much does it cost you to get a customer, and what are they going to do over the year? Okay. That's what you need to know.
Okay, yeah, that's all really interesting. So obviously being a founder or co-founder isn't easy. I can imagine you have faced a lot of struggles, ups and downs, but yet also like a lot of rewards. So what sort of struggles have you had to overcome, faced?
There's been a lot of struggles.
Yeah.
There's been mental ones, friendship ones, wondering if your product's going to work ones, news you didn't want to hear. But that is part and parcel of it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why there's such a high failure rate. Because it takes more than just a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, someone may have had this idea before, but to go out and do it, it's another thing.
100%.
And I guess the challenges aren't like raising money or building the brand or running a team, or, you know, that's kind of your job as a founder, right? Is to go out there and build your business. That's your job. But the challenges come from what are you going to do to make it work, like everything else that comes with it. So I'm only founded this business in June 21, and we launched it 5 months ago. So barely even started.
Yeah.
But we're starting to see the early signs of things working. But I feel like we were very prepared, and we have a very good advisory and board around. I think that's the one thing I did do well. I've done a lot of things really bad, maybe not right, but I have gone out and found the people to help. because you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
And that's helped a lot with getting through challenges and navigating through how this works.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people think that it's extremely straightforward. You come up with an idea, you implement it, you get the funding, and you do it. But that's
On paper,
really not
it's
the
easy.
case. Yeah.
On paper, when you say it like that, yeah, it is easy, but it's everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very hard time to raise right now. You know, you'll know it. People are struggling to raise valuations and getting slashed. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You just got to keep going through it.
Exactly that. So, I mean, it's not just you, is it? You've got co-founders as well.
Yeah, I got co-founder. We've got a team of 13, including 5 tech team at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So you and your co-founder, you must have different management styles or approach certain things differently.
Yeah.
How do you find that? Does it work well?
I've just been in sales my whole life, so I'm just not the best people manager. Not that I'm horrible. I don't know. He's just much better at it.
Okay.
And he's very pragmatic and detailed and process driven, and I'm not in that respect. But it does work well on balance, and he gets the most out of the team. And the nice thing is why it's working is, you know, the team, the product, the processes in the business, everything's put in place and working well, and then I can go out there and try and build the brand, raise, and do what else is needed. And the nice thing is we can divide and conquer together, but still be aligned on everything, and that is magic. That's
really important, because I know a lot of people who start off as a team, not everyone always sees eye to eye, and sometimes that can go really south.
It does, and it happens, and it's a very it is something that happens, and it's a very normal thing.
Yeah,
you know, people can start a business together, but then it comes down to the nitty gritty. Everyone's got to give up the same sacrifice, and it doesn't work if you don't.
Yeah, no, that's really really true in what you're saying. So you said you've got 5 developers.
Yeah,
5 in the tech team.
5 in the tech team.
So how does your tech team kind of work? Is it overseas?
Yeah, so we joined so when we started the business, obviously we didn't know anything about building apps, so we went through a tech incubator called Hyper.
Okay.
One of the best. Still talk to them to this day, and actually still very good friends with them. But they take your business from ideation through to development.
Right.
And we did the prototype with them, our pitch deck, went to sort of funding. They don't fund, but they put you in touch with people and obviously competitions and pitch events. So it's great. So you get like a feel for what you're going into. And then through ideation, you do the validation, i.e. you going out there and finding out if people want this. All being well, then you go through to development. And because we got on so well with their team and we loved what they were doing, we actually then subcontracted almost them as full-time employees to work full-time on Ambl, because we were quite happy with our tech and the relationship that we had, and we didn't want to move it at our stage.
Yeah, strong relationships are really important, especially early on in a company as well.
Yeah, I think that the bigger we get and the more money we raise, it will be something that's definitely moved in. But to be honest with you, the speed that we get development done and the quality of build that they're doing, I mean, to have an app that is people, you know, hundreds of people using it a day, soon to be thousands hopefully, and restaurants, and you know, it's a big app. It's a massive app, and it needs constant work. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's going to get bigger and bigger, so it needs full time on it, and then to uproot that at this stage would obviously be tough, but in time, we will need internal resources.
I did notice on the App Store you're already at version 2.0, so you've already done a lot of
loads of iterations.
Yeah, a lot of updates, bug fixes, and just all that kind of stuff as well.
We actually do like weekly.
You do?
Weekly updates and sprints. So we've got another 12 weeks of updates already locked in.
Oh, wow.
Big ones as well.
Yeah.
Really good ones.
Any you can talk about today?
Yeah. So there'll be a feature where venues can, in real time, post what they've got available in terms of offer-wise. So you'll be on there, there'll be a section that says what's on, and if that venue's got a DJ on that evening, or a live event, or they've got free drinks, or they've got something on offer just for that one thing, they can literally post it, and it'll just be like a list of what they're doing offer-wise, not discounts, but more offers if you go there. We're changing the whole UI to make it more intuitive, and obviously can't up phone, but it looks good, and we're adding a lot more categories that people have requested, like rooftops, beer gardens, dog friendly. Okay. And there's a reward scheme coming out, and there is hundreds of more venues coming on.
Yeah. Wow, they're quite big updates.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, we work
like.
hard on it.
Yeah.
And there's more after that as well.
Wow. No, that's really, really exciting, especially the what's on as well, because I can't imagine the worst thing must be thinking, okay, this place has availability, let's go there, and you go in there and there's not much of an atmosphere. It's a bit empty, but knowing that there's places that have DJs on certain nights and they've got availability, you're like, okay, there's a good atmosphere in that place.
It's a complete... The whole point of Ambl is the venues can use it to just attract people in the area rather than just waiting for them to come to them using Google or something else. So the ability to allow venues to market for free to people, with that, it works well. And, you know, we've already got venues doing it sort of at the moment anyway. Like, you go onto the app, and just because venues are sort of... And the nice thing is venues are behind us to get this going. You know, some of them were doing a free drink or a free side with such. So it's not a discounting app, but people are doing that just because they, you know, want to help drive. So there's a whole sort of feature being built on that where they can put their own whatever on.
Yeah.
What's on.
That's good, that is.
Yeah.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
So you speak about maybe potentially bringing the engineering team in-house at some point. Do you necessarily have an idea of like a timeline for that kind of stuff? Or
yeah.
is it all just very unpredictable?
No, not at all. So it would be probably like a Series A, depending on the raise. And we would need, you know, the thing that we haven't got at the moment is like, so like I'm the CEO, Jed's the COO.
Yeah.
They're roles that we've built and moulded into. To progress this business where we need to be, we'll need other C-level experience, such as a CMO, CTO, which will have the tech team around that, which we'll then go to. So because the app is the business, i.e. the tech, the decision will be obviously to get someone like that in to then manage that process.
Yeah. Yeah, no, makes sense. So obviously you've just said you've got weeks of updates planned, but with the actual scalability of the app, where, like, what is your full vision for it? Say, give it 2-3 years, where can you see Ambl being?
That's a good question. So the app is built so that a venue can literally be online within minutes and start to see people in the area, right? So once we've used all of our time and resources to build the tech out so that it can literally be dragged and drop anywhere. So I would love this, or the vision for this is, you know, you land in a city, what are the 3 things you need? Travel, find out where you are, a map, and find out where the bars and restaurants are.
Yeah.
I don't know anything, like, what would you do in a city when you go to Paris, Barcelona, like wherever, Miami? Not that I've ever been, but you want to know where you are, you need to travel, and you need food and drink.
Yeah.
So I want Ambl to be, you're landing in a city, you've got Uber, City Mapper, Google Maps, and Ambl.
Yeah.
And that's it. So you can navigate around any city, land in any city and go, 4 of us need a table right now, and it pings out and a good restaurant bar goes, yes, you can have it, and you turn up and off you go.
Yeah.
So I want this app to be used globally.
Globally, yeah.
But you've got to change behaviour to do that, and that's the hard part.
Okay.
And that's what takes time.
What do you mean by change behaviour?
You've got to make this the go-to app for people. You've got to make people go, like, the vision really comes down to you going out with your friends and going, we'll just use Ambl tonight. Where do you want to go? We'll just use Ambl.
Okay.
Or just that. If you get that done, that's where you start to build something that changes behaviour, where you're allowing people to do something they couldn't do before, i.e. restaurant, bar, all booked in the same night.
Yeah.
That's the part obviously we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You get that done, then...
Next steps.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the moment you're conquering London.
I was going to say conquering London, I was going to say conquering Farringdon.
Farringdon. Okay, Farringdon. And then next would obviously be to expand to London, and then will you go to other cities in the UK, such as like Manchester, Liverpool, and...
100%. I mean, we've already got, the last few months we've got about 350 venues in London already, and that's growing quickly. I've got a really good team doing that. Then we will look to go to Manchester and other major cities, because a lot of the groups here have presences in other cities in the UK and overseas as well. So actually makes moving it easier. And the good thing is now we've got the setup here in the foundation here. Yeah. It would just be about allocating resources to another city. Yeah. And then we're off. Yeah, and I suppose if you use any restaurants that are almost franchised as well, you'll be able to almost just go in any of the franchises. And that'll be massive. 100%. Yeah. So you can grow pretty quickly with the tech the way it is. Yeah. Wow. Fingers crossed for you. Yeah, thanks. I mean, we've already kind of gone over the fact that there is nothing like Ambl out there, or that I know of anyway.
And there is a lot that sets this apart from just normal booking apps. But if there was a competitor to come on site, or if you know of a competitor, what necessarily does set Ambl apart?
I think we've taken the time to really understand how people need to want to use and navigate an app. Like what feels intuitive to people. Like when you go onto the app, you need to get an answer within 2 clicks, and you need to be able to give it to someone and know how to use the app straight away and not have to navigate so much.
Yeah.
Whereas from a user side, it's giving people what they want when they want it, and them being able to trust our platform and feeling. And we're trying to get people to have a really understand our customers intimately, and try and get them to really like using it, not for a discount, not because they're getting something off or like a service. We want them to use it as more like a lifestyle. You know, I need this to. Then for the venue side, it's giving them a pay on success model, so they're only paying when customers turn up, but it's allowing people to move and pass people around hospitality. So it's aggregating across everything rather than just there's some venues on this website, there's some on this app, there's some on this website, where you then don't know where to go. It works across all venues, so you can just use one app to go to a restaurant, then a bar, then a nightclub.
Yeah.
Or nightclub, restaurant, whatever way you want to do it, right? So it's trying to make that one-touch solution. And obviously for venues, we allow them to see people in the area, which they don't otherwise see or know that what's out there.
Yeah.
So we pass them a lot of that data as well.
Okay. Yeah. They must really like seeing the sort of... I mean, it's incoming traffic for them at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And why wouldn't they want that? It's making them more business.
Yeah, exactly. And the nice thing is it's about sending a good quality customer to them. Like someone who's just been saved on their night out or gone, I've just got into this great restaurant that I wanted to. They're going to turn up happy. These people aren't coming for a discount. They're not coming to, you know, there's a nice, it's hard to explain, but there's a nice level of like, I need something, here you go, and connecting that dot.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it sounds like you've really taken the time to understand the user's needs and wants.
Yeah, 100%.
And that is what's most important. But not only just the user, but also the restaurants as well.
It's so about the restaurant,
Yeah.
or the venues, and we have people in hospitality. We have some hospitality investors now because they like what we're doing and get it. And that's the key thing, is without the venues behind it. I mean, for example, starting a marketplace, where do you start? Do you get customers on first? You can't because you've got no venues.
Yeah.
Do you get venues on first? You can't because you've got no customers. It's just, where do you start? So you've got to have venues on there that understand the journey, speak to them all the time, showing them what we're doing and why, and keep them engaged on your journey. And with that done, you then can bring users on and start to give them business. So it's massive. Like the venue side is half the business.
Yeah.
The customers come in time, but having the venues engaged in the right quality venues is massive. And we spend so much time with them, and they're pretty much the backbone of the business.
Yeah. No, you must have established some very strong relationships.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, that's really important, especially
100%.
in this sort of game, basically. So the promotion and marketing of Ambl, how do you kind of get it out there?
There are so many ways to get it out there, but you've got to find the one that works. And at the moment, we're doing a lot of paid social media.
Yeah.
That seems to be working well because the app is so easy to use and you can kind of get your point across in a few seconds. It's doing very well on like TikTok and socials.
Yeah.
There's been some PR and stuff like Evening Standard, City AM, EU Starters. There's been some press, good press. And restaurants themselves are putting like stickers in their windows, emailing their databases. So it's really nice that they're trying to promote on their side and we're promoting on our side as well.
Yeah. I have noticed a few stickers.
Nice. Good. Yeah, but this is all little things that just sort of contribute and get the brand out there.
Yeah.
And when you start to, I guess, you know, going back to sort of like raising and being a founder, is when you find a way to bring customers on cheap and well, great, stick at it, and then find something else. Don't try and do everything at once because you'll just burn all your cash and not get anything right. So we've got that right now. Obviously, we've got SEO coming in. We've got some partners that are doing sort of affiliate marketing. We've just been approved by Google as an approved partner. So there's things moving in the right direction.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, it is all baby steps, especially with marketing.
100%.
And you can't expect a massive flood come in at once because it all takes its own time.
100%.
And sponsored ads are definitely, I mean, in my personal opinion, the way forward. That is one way to get it out. But also another way is definitely word of mouth as well, because
100% word of mouth. It's
people
a word
trust
of mouth.
it.
People trust it. If you see an ad for this app,
yeah,
you think, okay, great, move on, or you download it, right? But if your mate tells you about it and you're out and go, I'm using this, or what's that? Oh, you should download it. I mean, that's how I got Uber, because I saw my friend use it.
Right.
So that's hopefully what happens with this. The more people that get it and use it, obviously it starts to have that network effect, and that's the key.
Yeah.
And because it's free as well, there's not, no one signing up to do anything they don't want to or pay for it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Of course. I mean, I've had hundreds of apps obviously recommended, and you use it and you kind of see what one works for you and this kind of stuff. But word of mouth, I do think is very important.
It's going to be key.
Yeah.
It's going to be key.
100%.
That's why the customer experience has to be the best, and that's why on the venue side they've got to be the best, and when that happens it's great.
Yeah. So I mean, you must have had like quite a lot of like feedback from the app maybe. Like, do you take that and really do like apply it?
Everything, every email I get a reply to.
Yeah.
Every single email, good or bad. Not many bad ones actually. And to be honest with you, some of the feedback we've got from people is like, hey, it'd be really nice to see this, love the app, but I couldn't use it in this area.
Yeah.
When you're going to be here. So that's kind of stuff. I think what we're trying to do is show people that we're still an early business so that the expectations are managed. But you can't obviously do that for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's been pretty good feedback because we have taken the time to do it properly and didn't assume things. Like, we did a lot of research, a lot of questions. How does the venue need it to work? What do customers want? So we did a lot of that. So the feedback has been quite good.
Yeah, I can
It's
imagine.
getting there.
Yeah.
But it's so consumer focused that obviously the reviews, matter. But they've been, when people have used it, the experience has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see why it wouldn't be, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. It's a baby still. But it is getting there.
Yeah. So, obviously, being a founder, you have, like you said in the past, so you have had past projects and this kind of stuff. But this is obviously the one that has taken off, maybe like the biggest, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was running the other ones from my bedroom, using my savings and to get them going, and buying stuff from China and packaging it up and sewing stuff on and selling it. I was doing that.
Yeah.
This is a business that's been in papers and now launched in London, and we've raised a lot of money and there's a lot of people involved. So yeah, it's by far the biggest.
This must feel like extremely like rewarding though for yourself.
Certain days can be.
Yeah.
Certain days are taxing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of up and downs as it is anyway, but
sometimes it can take one email and a phone call that solves all your problems.
Yeah.
And that's the way. It's so up and down in this space.
Yeah.
You literally just got to strap in and go for it. Go for the ride, it's mental.
What would your advice be to aspiring founders, people trying to get their business off the ground?
If people are wanting to do it or started it or have businesses, there are thousands and thousands of things that you need to do over a long period of time.
Right.
So don't think about all those things right now. Think about what you can do today. Is it speak to someone that may invest and get their feedback? Is it speak to your group of friends? Would they buy or use this? Is it find a customer that you would sell to as a business and ask them, would they use your product? Is it make a website? Is it make a logo? Is it read about it? It can be anything like that, but as long as you do something like that every day, you will then start to build a business.
Yeah.
But just think about what you can do right now, and everything starts to snowball, and then you go. But that's only if you genuinely want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what about people who are trying to maybe do something similar to you in terms of using a tech team that are overseas? How do you find the communication with that?
Really good.
Yeah.
You can talk and do anything right now. As long as you've got Zoom, you've got Slack, you've got Teams, whatever.
Yeah.
It's really been fun, and they know our product really well now. So we've got this language or this way of. They know exactly what we're so ingrained with that team that they know exactly what we want and how we want to do it and what we want it to say and feel like. So I think it's massive, the relationship we have with our tech team, and I think that's so crucial because they need to understand what you're trying to build.
Yeah.
The vision. We wouldn't just take the product and move it somewhere else.
Yeah. So would you highly recommend at the start to use a?
I'd highly recommend. It would save you so much money if you knew how to code yourself.
Okay, yeah.
But
For
no,
people who don't necessarily have the chance to do that, though.
no, exactly. So I think at the start you have like there's a lot of outside resources, whether it be India, China, Europe, some London. London can be expensive, but really, really good as well.
Yeah.
So it really just depends what suits your business and what your financial requirement is and what your goal is with the app. You know, how many people are going to be using it? What's it for? So you've really got to assess that based on the function of your app rather than what you prefer.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a tech-based business, then your investment is in tech. So you need to pick an agency or a person or a team that can fulfill that. Otherwise, you don't have a business.
Yeah, completely. So obviously we know that the aim of Ambl is to be basically international. At the end of this, that is the main goal for the app. What would be your main goal as a CEO, as a business developer?
The end goal would be to have done this successfully and it be like a household name.
Yeah.
That would be the successful thing. That would be what I do. If I, to a little point where if I was out and saw people using it or saw someone walk past someone using it or mention it to me that didn't know that
It was you.
Yeah, that would be my goal.
Yeah.
Weird one, but that would be my goal.
No, I think that's a really good goal.
Because everything else is just a byproduct of it. It will get, everything else is just to have it like that, where it's you say it and people know what it is. If you walk from here to like Liverpool Street, you would know people have it on their phone like they do with Facebook or an Uber or an Instagram or TikTok or Citymap, whatever it is that.
Yeah. Well, I wish you a lot of luck in it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think it's a great app. I mean, like I said, I've already told my friends to download it. A couple of them already used it.
Nice.
I will shout about it.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for joining me today.
No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
It's been great catching up with you and talking to you.
Nice one. Thank you.